last minute now either. And you want to pop up. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm gonna let both sides actually.
If you get married now, so many people rethink what it means to get married and what they want, whether that's from their, bachelorette parties, or whether it's from the wedding itself. Like the wedding we went to, it was like, the bride was walking around beforehand. Like it wasn't this big presentation of she shows up and everyone stands, and it wasn't that whole ordeal. Because I feel like that's falling out of favor, because that's like, oh, your dad's giving you away.
Yeah.
And that's really misogynistic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're trading her for oxen or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, the dowry. So I went camping and had to borrow a tent from someone because I don't own a tent. Categories of gender, and this is a third gender category.
Yep.
So we as humans devise gender categories, they are not innate.
Yep.
Anyway.
And it wasn't because of TikTok.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So they found that the Bafafine were significantly more willing to help kin, yet much less interested in helping children who are...
Right now, she's mostly working on the company's project plan, where I need a assistant, because it's also the case of like, if we put some processes in place now, it's only going to benefit us in the future. So it's best to do it now while things are new, rather than trying to untangle things later on. And so I want to build out the foundational stuff, and this person lives and dies in Notion.
Part of the Notion Nation then.
So I am now part of the Notion Nation. So they are building for me like lots of things in Notion, and we're starting to work on some projects together, and we're working on them in Notion. So I'm like, go for it. Just build up Cortex brand Notion and start moving it from there. And so.
Yeah. But it scans the same as have a banana, which I really like. Alisatana. That's how you can remember it. Yeah. I like them. I think they're good.
Do you?
Yeah, they're kind of
Well,
rationalistic.
there's a few of them around, aren't there, who claim to not be interested in Satan, but are called the Church of Satan or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all, a lot of them are like just trying to take the piss out of the government, out of the church, out of all that kind of stuff.
In lockdown, I started presenting a religious programme on Sunday mornings called Sunday Morning Live, and we, under the BBC, had to interview every religion that's recognised a religion. So I didn't actually do it, but they interviewed the Satanists.
Really?
After...
Oh. Is that like a proper religion then in the UK?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Wiccan.
Wiccan.
And the lady who came, I didn't talk to her.
They are where the mantle of the Earth meets the core of the Earth. Okay, so the Earth goes crust, not very much, mantle, quite a bit, core, quite a bit more, and they're at the junction point between the mantle and the core. So they're really hard to research, and the researchers have named them Tuzo and Jason. They're billions of years old, and between them they are
Both blokes.
It's true. They're named after two geological scientists, so they are. Yeah, and we don't know what they are. They might be off-cut from another planet, which is exciting.
Dangerous than someone dealing out violence at the time. Not to say they're any
absolutely
they're scum as well, but you know what I mean. His legacy is definitely lasting.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like a couple of years ago in the U.S., we had the Tree of Life synagogue shooting, right? This guy Robert Bowers walks and shoots 11 people. He read. You can find like quotes of him basically sharing evolutions of Stryker propaganda. There's a direct line between the two, right? And Stryker's still killing me, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's pretty cool that on October 16th, 1946, the United States had a mostly illiterate conman who pretended to be a skilled executioner hang Stryker on the gallows at Nuremberg and really fuck it up. It's a bad execution. This guy did not know what he was doing. Yeah. Versailles by French troops for a significant chunk of the Weimar period. And the French often send over like colonial soldiers, including like African soldiers.
Algerians and that.
Exactly. Everywhere you have soldiers,
Stationed in a foreign country, this shit will happen.
some number of them will do bad things. And whenever something like that happens with these French occupation troops, it is this huge deal on the right, you know, because there's this race panic issue towards it too. You know, they're angry just period at the fact that they lost the war. So that's what Stryker is kind of, he's not only sort of like, you know, look, they've got these like black soldiers on our soil, but
I think I had it once and it was delicious. I just turn up and pretending that I don't like it. Yeah, it sounds fancy. Yeah, just make it delicious. And I specifically want it to taste like champagne or any fizzy wine does after a wedding ceremony. Where you just sat through a whole ceremony and then you get your first drink after that. You want a disposable camera as well. Yeah, that'd be great, yeah. A little treats on the table that you take home and then put on the side and then they go in the bin again. Yes, I would like it to taste after you've maybe like a 40-minute ceremony and then you finally get a glass of champagne and you're like, ice cold, we just poured it.
Executive boner. There's also my billion. Is that global scale volcanic activity spewed so much gas, ash, and dust into the atmosphere that it kept sunlight.
Oh my god. And it was not, the theory is not that
Karen bike and on the curve.
dinosaurs were on the sign even before down that way.
And another one's going down there.
I just think all the hosts, I love it. Well, it's because the podcast is
Like audio anyway, and most folks don't understand how podcasts work. I didn't know how to listen to podcasts before I did it. It's like a little back of a shop. Come on in, I can tell you about it. And then but you can check us out on YouTube or you can podcast on YouTube channel a long time. I didn't think we were that name, yeah, I can tell. But I'm here, it's kind of cool.
20s, early 30s gay male, okay, who still dresses and behaves in an immature and age-inappropriate manner.
Oh. Bitter and drunk. Twunk. Okay, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
I don't know where this one comes from. What's it called when you're too queer or something? What are other names for when you drink? You're a person that drinks.
Oh, too queer, yeah.
Isn't there another?
Things to do, and what I should be doing is getting on stage, like doing warm-up gigs. And I think part of what's been making me feel tired is A, being so far removed from stand-up with these babies. Like, I was on tour for a year with Fred, but I did no warm-up gigs for that tour, and I should have if I was more ruthless, more self-disciplined. And now with Fenna,
The San Francisco show has to be rescheduled. It has been canceled. You should have received your refunds by now if you bought tickets. We are going to reschedule for later in the year. I'm working to figure out exactly when, and we'll let you know as soon as I know.
yeah, unfortunately the venue canceled on us, so it was out of our control. So we're sorry to the people that had to change for. We unfortunately couldn't do anything about it. So sorry about that, and we really want to go to San Francisco, so we will figure something out.
Yep.
We'll let you know.
Next, we did a gayish spotlight. So we've been doing these spotlight things where we took, we look at